McLaren team principal Andrea Stella has made it clear that Lando Norris was facing serious consequences in Budapest last weekend had he not handed the lead back to teammate Oscar Piastri. Norris was given priority at the second stops to protect against the threat from Sir Lewis Hamilton behind, but leapfrogged Piastri, a place that he waited until the closing stages to return, despite the team's radio calls. But while Norris said the place swap was fair, Stella opened up post-race on what happens if you don't follow team orders. Interests of the team come first, Stella said. If you mess up on this matter, you cannot be part of the McLaren F1 team. That's the principle. Red Bull's top gun Max Verstappen escaped sanction in Hungary for his aggressive attempt to pass Mercedes' Sir Lewis Hamilton on lap 63 that ended in a collision. The pair lapped Williams' Alex Albon on the run down to turn 1, with Hamilton straight back on the racing line. But Verstappen, who locked up both front wheels on approach, disagreed and said that the Brit changed direction under braking. Though the evidence, video and telemetry from both cars didn't support his view, ensuring it was marked a racing incident with no further action. With the post-race decision stating, the stewards do not consider this to be a typical case of changing direction under braking, although it is our determination that the driver of car 44 could have done more to avoid the collision. RB driver Daniel Ricciardo was left frustrated and angry in Hungary after the squad threw away points with a bungled strategy. Ricciardo, who was on the cusp of either being promoted to top team Red Bull after F1 summer break or dropped altogether from RB for 2025, finished in 12th, following two surprisingly early stops, the first of which didn't make the most of his medium tires, while the second made him a sitting duck in the closing stages with a 41-lap stint on the hards. "I've had a lot of frustrating races, but that's up there," he said. It's understood that Ricciardo's future remains on a knife edge, with the brand set to imminently make a decision on Sergio Perez's top Red Bull Racing seat and a range of replacement options, including Ricciardo and RB reserve Liam Lawson, that could be enacted after the summer break. Alpine has allegedly blocked Esteban Ocon from leaving the French team early to go to rival Williams from the Dutch Grand Prix. Ocon will exit Enstone at the end of the season, with recent paddock chatter linking him to Haas for a quick deal to safeguard his future, where he'd provide experienced muscle to rookie Oliver Behrman. But in Budapest, it's understood Alpine was forced to block Ocon from jumping ship early after Williams offered him a chance to replace Logan Sargent from the Dutch Grand Prix. A move that would likely harm the 8th-place French outfit, with its rival Williams just 5 points adrift and an alleged $17 million difference in prize money between the positions. French ace Pierre Gasly says that he's pitched an Alpine seat to Carlos Sainz as the fastest guy out there, in an attempt to sway the Spaniard, who is yet to sign a deal with anyone for 2025 and beyond. Sainz is taking an extended time to select what he sees as the right seat, creating a bottleneck in the driver market as he looks out for himself. But while Gasly reckons Sainz is the fastest of Alpine's 3 options, which include Valtteri Bottas and reserve Jack Doohan, the Frenchman says it's now up to him to make his own decision. "I did my fair share of the job, and ultimately I believe in the project we're building with Alpine," Gasly said. Red Bull's chief engineer Paul Monahan says that any teammate to an F1 world champion like Max Verstappen needs to be mentally strong to survive the constant onslaught. Sergio Perez is facing a potential demotion to sister squad RB after the summer break, with a 141-point and 6th-place gap to the Dutchman in the drivers' standings that may trigger clauses in his contract. Monahan, however, told the official F1 podcast Beyond the Grid that it's an often underestimated challenge to face a Top Gun.
What you have to be prepared for is, it's true of, in my opinion, of both Max and Fernando, is this relentless pursuit of the best they can be. And that is every day, every session, every lap. You know, even if you lose one session, they're back the next one and they're on it. And you have to be prepared for that. They do not have a bad day.
Yuki Tsunoda says he's ready and deserving of a winning Red Bull seat, that his early RB deal extension for 2025 shows belief in him, and that it'd be weird if the brand promoted Liam Lawson instead. Sergio Perez's Red Bull future was the talk of the Budapest F1 paddock, with rumors he'll be replaced from Zandvoort. But while Tsunoda hasn't been mentioned as a contender, with Lawson on the shortlist, the Japanese driver says otherwise. Having soundly beaten his race-winning teammate Daniel Ricciardo since the Honey Badger's return at last year's Hungarian Grand Prix. If they choose Liam, that would be weird. Liam did a really good job when he drove in the sim, but I think I did more than that, so we'll see how it goes, Tsunoda said. Kevin Magnussen's future was in sharp focus in Budapest, with news he'll leave Haas at the end of the year. But the Dane says he wants to race on with another team rather than stay as reserve. 2024 is Magnussen's 7th season with Haas, his 10th racing in F1. But while he's got no shortage of sports car options beyond the paddock, the 31-year-old says he's already in talks with rival F1 teams for a future drive, with his results to the end of the season selling his potential. Haas, however, remains open to a future collaboration with Magnussen should a race drive fail to materialize, though the Dane has all but ruled out a reserve role. I think being a reserve driver waiting around for someone to break his leg, I don't think that's very exciting, he said. Staying with Haas, which hit the headlines ahead of Hungary, with news the American squad had extended its technical partnership with Ferrari through to 2028. F1's most recent startup, Haas, hit the ground flat out from its 2016 debut due to an unparalleled partnership with Ferrari that allows it to purchase everything it doesn't have to make under the regulations. The extension of this key deal through to 2028, Haas's 13th season in F1, will provide the squad with crucial stability while it tackles the sport's next technical regulation overhaul. The relationship with Scuderia Ferrari has always been a special one to us. They were instrumental in the genesis of the program back in the early days and have continued to be a valuable technical partner to us throughout the past 9 seasons, said team boss Ayo Komatsu. It's understood that Haas is also speaking with Toyota for a potential future collaboration involving personnel and car production, areas not in conflict with its Ferrari deal. Mercedes' longtime trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin says the squad's recent race-winning form is far from an overnight feat. The Silver Squad has dramatically turned around its season from being in the midfield to winning races. But Shovlin told official podcast F1 Nation that rather than Mercedes finding a magic bullet, that simply all of the team's performance areas are delivering.
But as I said, the progress has been quite linear. To the outside world, it looks like it's very non-linear because suddenly we're appearing on the podium and we've won a couple of races recently. What's changed? I think the team has got much more focused. The sort of performance machine is working really well. Everyone is looking for performance in every area.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.